Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we have a story on Gotham Knights, but it's not necessarily a story on Gotham Knights. It's a story about a games publication about Gotham Knights that I feel like is at best a troll or at worst journalistic malpractice. But I don't want to dog on anybody, but I think we should just look at this together. Now, by the way, if you are wondering my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy, keep in mind that I've actually been covering it on my second channel. And if you want to check out the content, I've gone ahead to add a playlist here on the Video Game Fight School channel for y'all, so you could just watch any of that whenever you feel like. All right. So let's jump into what exactly is on the chopping block today. So I was on Twitter, and James Sigfield, who basically puts a lot of Gotham Knights posts, basically came across this article, and he said, CBR, you know something we don't? And he's been up for about 2 hours, his post, today, the 28th of October, 2021. So I tracked down the article, and I thought to myself, there's no way somebody published an article about a state of play that Warner Brothers reveals a stunning trailer for its highly anticipated open world action game, Gotham Knights. And it says the latest Sony state of play revealed closer look at a variety of upcoming third-party games, including Gotham Knights. In fact, when you read this article, one of the most disappointing things is it's very generic. So let's read the paragraphs together so we can just see it for ourselves. I'm not going to wait for you to actually go read it. It says, the new gameplay trailer digs into the game's combats, traversal, and character upgrade systems. It also expands on the Court of Owls, who were recently highlighted in the game's story trailer, first shown off during DC Fandom 2021. Now, this is something that, yeah, it may sound generic, but where did they get all of these details from? Because these are stuff that we've been asking for. Combat, sure. I mean, they could have shown a gameplay trailer that had people hitting each other. Traversal, they could have shown somebody basically flying from one place to another or gliding. I'm not saying flying or whatever. And character upgrade systems, they could have just mentioned people leveling up and getting stronger. This is stuff that came from the DC Fandom 2021 event. Let me take a breath and calm down. Seems like I may be getting a little worked up, but I just want to kind of say, well, why is this being something that is being published and looks like it could be misleading people? Because this is something that, you know, many of us here in the space have tried our best to kind of tone down or at least keep our expectations realistic, yet you have something like this that a journalist is pretty much putting out there, and I don't think it's really fair. And so basically they said this Gotham Knights focuses on the Bat family after Bruce Wayne. They talk about the different characters, his dying wish to reunite his sidekicks, tasking Nightwing, blah, 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 blah. This is the first trailer. With keeping Gotham Knights safe in his stead, the game is set to feature a variety of iconic villains, including Mr. Freeze and the Penguin. We've seen them, who are all stepping up to take control now that the Bat no longer patrols the rooftops. Now, he says, while those threats will no doubt challenge players on their own, the Bat family needs to be especially aware of the Court of Owls. We know this. A shadowy organization comprised of Gotham's wealthiest and most influential families. You got this from the comic. The Court of Owls, the court nearly controls every part of the crime-infested city. Players will need to contend with the group's talons, a selection of hyper-efficient brainwashed assassins that are dispatched to remove anyone, blah, blah, blah. And it says, according to the... And it just... I'm done. It says it's basically that's being worked hand in hand with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. We saw that at the DC Fandom event. We knew that. And we knew that they introduced the court in Batman Volume 2, number 3 in 2011. Gotham Knights is scheduled for release in 2022. So to me, I just think this is basically them just trying to either clickbait, number one, or troll the community, or like I said, journalistic malpractice. Now, like I said, I'm trying not to dog on anyone. So what about the possibility that this could have been something that was leaked, but was at the last minute pulled from the state of play because it probably would have overshadowed the indie games that Sony was trying to put out there and maybe might be best slated for next month's state of play? You see, within the games industry, there's a way these things work. So I don't necessarily know, nor do I understand how they would have probably gone around to, you know, send and disseminate this information. Also, some people are saying in the comment section of James Sigfield's post that this was probably a post that they had anticipated will be coming with the leaks, and then they forgot to, you know, go ahead and take it down. So, you know, this person says, DC Comics Gamer says, hey, whenever an event with quick announcements like State of Play comes around, sites look for the most likely things that'll be there and write temp/shell articles. so they can fill in some blanks and publish quickly. Obviously, CBR then foolishly published one of those. So this is just embarrassing in a sense. And so I'm just really surprised that they actually allowed for this thing to go out there. And honestly, I don't even know what to say, man. I just feel weak and tired that people would do this to a game that the developers need to focus on and keep working. Because what's the point in creating hype when you're not necessarily going to see, anything about it? Because hype like this now is, if this article goes on, if they don't correct this or remove or take this down, this is going to continue to fuel all kinds of crap stuff. And then they'll eventually come down and say, oh, this is a correction or whatever it is. And so I'm really shocked that this has been up there as long as it has, because a lot of these video games they know that these video games are highly anticipated video games. And I think they're purposefully, or whoever put this article out there, either accidentally put it out there or purposefully has left it up this long, even though the state of play did not show anything. Or it may be that they have somebody on their hands that was trying to basically fast track their workload and didn't do a good job. I hope they don't pull this stuff anymore, because all of these games are games that the developers have tried their best to communicate with the community as much as they could, and yet somebody is over here trying to pretty much jeopardize the relationships that they're forming. You know what I mean? I mean, if you think about even the Insomniac games as well, a lot of people are looking forward to what they're working on, but it will be really sad if somebody threw down something like this when it wasn't true. So, I mean, I guess I'll leave it up to your own imagination. Join the conversation in the comments. What do you think about this? I'm just disappointed. That's just my own side of things, that somebody would not pay enough attention to do this. And I'm not above mistakes myself, but for you to anticipate that there's going to be something of this nature and it doesn't come around, and you leave an article like this, it doesn't really speak well of this website. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Talk to you guys very soon.